Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to Shri and Kara Live. I am wisdom teacher Shri Rob Ka.
And coming to you right up here from the incredible mountaintop at Tosa Blue Mountain. I'm going to really upset my husband and move the camera because I really want you to see. There's the homestead site right behind us and some of our beautiful rocks. And you can see that it's just a gorgeous day. And Shri and I have not been up here since December when I injured myself getting ready for the New Year's event. And Shri and I together, I think this is the first time we've been up here in so long that we actually can't remember. So thank you for being with us. It was fascinating. The mountain itself, so much has been happening. We are at such an extraordinary moment and so much to share, right,
Well,
Shri?
yeah, absolutely. But first thing I want to say to you is that we came up to the mountain and found a glitch in the wiring. So we are broadcasting on a cell phone right now. Can't speak to how well that's going to work, but let's go.
About that,
let's
right?
go.
We know it's going to be perfect. So we're praying there's no latency and that you're seeing us just fine. And hey, remember all of you at YouTube, Sue should be in there. We are taking your questions. There is so much to do and share today. So make sure that as we're sharing or what might be on your mind as well, put it in the YouTube chat. Shri and Sue are still in communication. And so we are grateful it's such a beautiful day because I got to share with you guys. I know you're feeling it. Bring your hands to your heart, right? Yeah, just really feel that because the energy that is on the planet right now, and I just want to dive. I'm going to go right in to the actual calendar itself, which I'm trying to find. There we are. And let's put that up because here's what's happening. As you gaze at the calendar right now, we are sitting here. It is April 16. It itself is like a nebula. Do you see how today, I want you to look at imagine that little square that's just the 16th. Bring your focus right there. And what you see is this creation energy. It's hanging out. And the word that keeps coming in is nebula and nebulae, the plural. And we're going to talk about that more in a moment as well. Because what's happening is, and you see the way, if you look at, if you bring your eye from the 16th and you go diagonally, I want you to go diagonally through the 10th, back up through the 4th and keep your eye going, you go right into the center. The nebula itself is like an arrow. And it's an arrow of cosmic presence that is saying, look, the eye of the all, the eye of the one, the eye of the eye of the eye. And you see, it's the triple circle. It's the three circles eventually that branch out. That is, imagine taking that right into the center of your eye right now. And I really want you to feel that. So it's another reason why Shri and I wanted to be up here in our gorgeous sanctuary and up on the parquet. We're up here in the archaeological park, just at what we call level 1. Go into your eyes right here, right? Go in that middle, but you can't see Shri's got glasses on, but go into your middle of your eyes there. And I want you to bring that nebula. I want you to feel that nebula. I want you to feel the energy of the cosmic universe really tickling your eyes. And then if it's safe to do so, you might want to close your eyes and bring your hands to your heart and really experience the energy of that nebula energy coming deep in through the black part of the eyes. And then feel it as if those rays, 2 rays, I want you to feel this as 2 rays of cosmic presence are coming straight in, right into that pituitary, right into the center, and then roll those 3, the pyramid that they are, the 2 eyes, the pituitary. Feel that as the cosmic pyramid igniting right into the center as you roll your inner eyes up and see. And I want you to take in a deep AVESA breath on that, going in. Opening your eyes with a smile. And remembering right now that most likely, if you are in divine mastery presence, you might be hypersensitive to energies. It was very obvious to Shri and I when we came up here that there are tantrums happening up here. Henry's gone. I'm gone. Shri and I together haven't been up here in probably 6 months. And so it's been an extremely interesting journey with the mountain this morning as the cosmic Isis energy is inviting the chalice to reignite. So as we are calling in that I, and I'm hoping that you're able to really bring those rays of presence in, go right into the pituitary, roll up and see, I want to bring you to the next really important moment. And this was the whole reason for the convergence itself. It was this. And I'm going to make it a little bigger on my screen so I can see it a little bigger, guys, so forgive me. And as you're staring at this right now, just relax your mind. You might even want to close your eyes, bringing your hands to your heart, breathing in, exhaling, smiling, and gazing. And as you are gazing in, as you are in the energy of this experience right now, I want you to notice what you're noticing. Notice what your mind's doing to you right now. Notice what's in your mind. Notice what you're noticing. I'm noticing all these cute little critters walking across the top of our computer screen as well. Notice what's happening around you. You are staring at the unification molecule opening its eye. Now, this is really, really important because we're going to go back to the calendar in just a moment. Sri, not yet. The reason this is so important, forgive me, guys, I want you to understand this. Sri wants me to close it, but I really want you to see it for a minute. If you really understand what's happening here, you see the arc in the blue? This is what's important. That arc and those dotted lines underneath, that is the horizontal eye. Remember, we've been talking about the opening of the horizontal eye. We are in the center of what? The STORM, which requires us to what? See the oneness. In 2013, the unification molecule burst into this potentiality. Sri and I actually did a lot of work around that at that time. We put out a lot of books at that time, 2013 Mayan Sunrise, lots of information. This molecule, however, through what happened in the March moment and the convergence in LA, began spinning. And so the light, the luminescence that you see there in the middle that was held as a pillar, right? So imagine that light kind of looks like an open chalice. Imagine if all that came together. Well, the unification molecule has been holding that band of light in its entirety in that blue jewel presence, right? It's been doing all of that since 2013, never knowing if it would ever do what it's doing right now. And it is. And that's what's so extraordinary. And if you were with us last Monday, you saw live as the ascended realm started even exploring this more. And this is really important. And I'm going to show you another one of these as well after we go back to the calendar and ask your questions. This is really advanced stuff and you really need to understand it. And you're capable of doing so. So what's happened is that radiance, think of it as a luminescent radiance, right? That radiance right now opened because of you. That was that 13th. Remember, March 13, go back, watch our show, go back to our YouTube channel, go to Official Sri and Kira, spend a few hours there and educate yourself, right? Because when that light opened, it said, okay, the unification molecule began to come forward. You see all the dots? Those are all of the limitless potentialities that have now been illuminated to sustain the greatest leap in consciousness that has ever happened. And it's because of this, because the unification molecule itself opened its eye. And I wish I was in front of you and I could just show you this right now, but can you say it better than me, Sri?
I know I can't. No, I think you got it. I do want to add one thing here. You know, for those of you that are new to this work, for those of you that are going, well, I'm not sure I'm tracking or not.
And I bet you are, because you're amazing.
So as you let in the energy of this beautiful graphic and the horizontal eye, there's two thoughts that I wish to share with you. The first one is let go of the need to understand and be available to the opening that will be revealed. So we are at a time of the upliftment of a leap forward in consciousness. A leap forward does not happen when we are clinging to the old way of being or the old way of understanding, comprehending. Your mind is your servant. So as we relax the need for the mind to prioritize and instead just let it witness and be present to the energy of what Master Lady Kira Ra has shared, we can begin to relax into the knowing rather than the understanding, the knowing of the truth that we are participating together in a grand expansion. And that expansion is supported through these beautiful graphics and the conversations that we're having and the energy we're sharing, because we as a species, the who man, the spiritual beings, are expanding our capacities in every way.
Right? I mean, literally.
Our ability to transmute, our ability to reverse age, our ability to hold joy in the face of seeming tragedy, our ability to serve at the highest level. Everything is happening, folks. It's all happening. And it's only our clinging to the old way of understandings that inhibit the full receiving of the gift of now.
Wow. It is only our clinging that inhibits the gift of the now. Thank you, Sri. That's a profound statement, is it not? And you know, as you're sharing that, feel free to continue, but I want you guys to dive into today's share screen again with the calendar. I want to bring you back there for a minute because this is really, really important. Why is this so important? Because again, we are in this nebula today. We are in this creation, this formation. And as we move in through the 17th and the 18th, you notice that it's today. Where does that ray emanate into? Today. Today you are in, the way I like to describe it is the outermost rim of the universe, right? So you're in this outermost rim of the universe, which is normally where all of the renegades are, which is probably why you're running into Sri and I. So here we are in the outermost rim of the universe, holding the frequency of pure potentiality as the law of instantaneous manifestation. And I want you to feel how powerful you are and your capability, because the first spiral of the up-level mount is anchoring. And when that 4-4 perfect balance came in, everything came forward and said, look, you have universal support as the foundation for the rest of this cycle, which is a 13-month cycle that actually began February 1. So we're just warming up. We're just in the first act. We're just learning what we're doing, guys. And I want you to look at the 17th. And I want you to look at the 18th, but then I want you to bring your eyes and follow the arc. Remember, when I create these graphics, there's a lot that's embedded that I don't share till the week we get there. So I want you to look at the I molecule. And can we make this bigger, Sri, so can I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I can. All right.
Yeah.
So there we go, guys. So what I'm doing right now, and if you have your own calendar, which I pray you do, because it also supports Global Minga, and if you don't, get to our website and get one. I'm going to use the little plus symbol here if you can see it. So here's today. This is the arc. You see what I'm telling you about? It's boom, right? And here is there's another circle right in there. It's the first circle, the second circle, expanding the third circle, that thereby becomes the open eye of the all. And to support that, tomorrow, the 17th, we bring the nebula energy blended with everything that we are receiving today into the power of the 17 as we enter the storm's center of the center. Do you see that? We touched it already last week. It's been here ever since that huge peak up level event, but it was at the peak up level that you see as part of what's happening today. I call it the secondary eye. And there's more coming in this month that I'll show you next week and in Monday Mastery. And so, thank you, Sri. Yeah, let's make it regular size. And so coming up is Wednesday. And Wednesday is, if you look at it right there, and I'm going to go big again for Wednesday, right? Number one, remember the 4th, 5th, and 6th. And now that you understand the circle of the triple circle is the final symbol, right? It's the symbol of the allness. It's the circle, the first, the second, the third, and then those three becoming the. And so 4, 5, and 6 was part of that energy, part of that up level. And on the 4th, we had what? We had that woo moment, peak up level, right, Sri? Remember?
Oh, intense.
Right. And then
4, 5, 6.
Right, and then on the 5th, we had the full moon, and it was incredible. And then on the 6th, we went into the pre-Mercury retrograde phase, which is coming to us fullness after Wednesday. And look at that eye. I'm just going to go back again. Now that you're seeing the eye within the eye, you see it? This right here is going to affect us all the way through next week. I mean, it's just going to keep happening. And next week in Monday Mastery is going to be massive because we're becoming the creator itself of the I image. This week is about claiming your central sun in the illuminated presence of the seventh dimension before we get into Saturday, because now we can stop share. Saturday, the 22nd, this Mercury retrograde, which you're already feeling, right? Sri and I came up here. I think we literally had to redo this connection. We don't even know how many times, right?
That's why we were a little late today.
Right. And yet perfectly timed. And so in the Mercury retrograde that you're already feeling, we're in the pre-phase, we've been in it, right? This is just the beginning. So here's the invitation for this specific Mercury retrograde. You ready? Maybe bring our hands to our heart for that, right? Okay, we're going to take in this invitation before we go to the ascended numerology, and I want to just give you a minute to feel this. We're also going to check in if you have questions. So here's your invitation. Guide us for another AVESA. Would you do
Let's
that?
do that.
Yeah.
So bring your attention to Ave on the inhale. Hail to the divine energy. Breathing in, Ave. So release, release, release. Let's do it again now that you know. Ave. And again, Ave.
With that smile, and feel your heart as the invitation. And in that invitation, what you are inviting in or not is self-revelation. And I want you to really breathe that in, because in the acceptance, and right now we're putting on some, this is our natural lemongrass citronella. And so we're putting that on right now because we're also inviting everything to be here with us. And as we are here right now, and you are inviting in self, would you like some?
No, I got it.
Okay. Would you like some?
Little citronella.
Come here. We do make it available. We make it on site, Kyla and I. So, excuse me, in that invitation to self-revelation, it's about willingness. It's about, can I have the water, please?
Yep.
It's about the ability, forgive me, guys. It's been an interesting morning. So maybe right now I'm going to invite you all to take a minute, because I'm going to need a second here. And I want you to really breathe in all the aspects of self-revelation that you can even start noticing while I'm going to have a sip of water. Keep breathing. See them all. They're like a beautiful kaleidoscope. And what's so pretty about a kaleidoscope or a mosaic, as we mentioned to you often, is that it doesn't matter what color all the pieces are. Just see them all, because you need to see them all for the beauty to reveal, right? So in the self-revelation that is upon us all now, we are in a moment where the gift of being able to gaze at the self from the seventh dimensional space of non-judgment is the moment at hand. I also want to offer that as you are moving into greater multidimensional presence, as you are holding greater dimensional space, as you are saying yes to the tools, like I need my Rude Rocks. I know that because there's things I can do without it. It just helps me do more with it, right? So what are the tools that are really supporting you? And are you giving yourself those gifts, right? Like right now, we need to walk with the computer because otherwise the mosquitoes are saying, we want you to be in a different place. So we're going to walk you to a different place right now. Sri, let's walk them to a different place. And as we're walking, one of the revelations that I know Sri and I are having is that we need to come back up here much more often, right? And this is, we're walking into right now, the old homestead. The walls used to be much larger, but when Alexander and the Kenyari came, they wanted to turn it into one of the ceremonial sites up here. I'm currently walking through what was the door. And here's, look, just since Sri and I are here. Hey guys, welcome. Shri, show them what are they looking at? Shri, show them what they're seeing in our
Beautiful
revelation.
rock temple that's been contributed by the many visitors that come up here.
Everybody always adds to it.
Pitahaya, the cactus.
Which I think we can, when we were up here, wait, am I showing them? I think we can harvest.
There's a ripe one over there.
Yeah,
if you wanna walk around.
these are edible. These are the pitahaya, you know, the cactus fruit. It's one of the varieties. Many of you know them as pink or other colors. Do I have you, Shri? I can't see.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
there we
this one's
are.
almost ready to eat, as are these. Are getting
Beautiful.
certain color.
They're stunning. And I'm just going to go ahead and put our computer down, guys. I think right over here. And I want you to notice what you're noticing, because other than, I pray you're noticing the gorgeousness. Those are the Andes Mountains. We are currently at about what, 10,000?
9.
Just around 10,000 feet. Here's the back side of the giant alien skull. Woo, 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 woo. Not going to show you much of that. You got to come here to see that. All right. We good? All right. And, so here we are. So right now, as we're moving through and into the revelation that is before you, is saying to you, oh, our connection's unstable. Are we too far with your phone?
No, it's just the way the cellular works.
Okay. Hopefully you guys are seeing us. So what's important to remember is to remember the gift of you, starting with your infinite presence, in order to release judgment. And, you know, Shri and I think one of the things that was, it was an extraordinary moment, but it was also amazing to be the center of so much gossip and to be in such a rare experience of loving and witnessing in real time. We were very, very blessed that when we were making our presentation at the Rose Room, which we're going to get ready for all of you very shortly, and especially Shri's pyramid presentation, which is the best TED Talk you ever saw. And we were preparing everything, and Shri and I and our beloved Grace of the Circle of 12 and Dana of the Circle of 12 and our beloved Falling Snow Woman and Leslie and Rebecca, and there's too many of you to put names on, really came in as a force of illumination. And I want to once again say to all of you that Shri and I were so honored to be in your presence. And on Friday, 2 days ago, right, in linear time, right? We're Sunday?
Yeah,
right. All right. So 2 days ago in linear time. And Shri and I have been holding this and wanted to share with all of you and celebrating. Whoa, did you see that? That was a dragonfly. And share with all of you. We had what I thought was the most beautiful compliment ever paid to somebody. Thought they were paying us a compliment. And what they were really doing was honoring you. Because here's what they said to us. We were on the phone with someone and they looked us in the eye and said, well, when I was in Los Angeles, you know, a lot of people were asking me, you know, what they were saying to me, well, what about them? What do you think of them? And his answer was so beautiful. Do you want to share it or do you want me to share it?
Go for it.
All right.
Go for
His
it.
answer was so beautiful. He looked us in the eye and he said, I said to them, it's one thing to be around very advanced teachers. It's a whole other thing when every one of their students is the same. That's community.
Yeah.
That's family. The greatest honor any teacher could ever ask for is for you to be the glorious, extraordinary being you are, for you to thrive and to care enough about you and your dream and your experience. That's what the yoga of self-ascension is. That's why the universe opens up all these amazing miracles, right? And I want to jump ahead to Egypt, because since we're up here this morning, I might be able to get you our internet. If I turn the computer around, we have a Valley of the Kings up here. And it was because of that Valley of the Kings that we're even going to Egypt, right? That was how it all started.
That was the touchstone that
Yeah.
opened the awareness of how the timelines are synchronizing, and that what we can collectively offer by being in Egypt now.
And the universal ascension codes that we have carved in stone here and help us get people here to validate. If you've ever read Zecharia Sitchin, he was right. We have the proof. And so through this Valley of the Kings, when we were transported, literally I was teleported into the Valley of the Kings in Egypt. The date, the time, Shri and I sat down together, more information came. Well, for those of us that are going to Egypt in person, and if your heart's been calling, believe it or not, we have one maybe 2 spaces, but we got to know by Monday. I mean, like Monday, April 17th. We were granted by the Egyptian government unheard of. And I mean unheard of access.
No, the access is incredible. We will have 2 hours of
2 full hours.
Private time inside the Great Pyramid, Queen's
Just
Chamber, King's
us.
Chamber, gathering the energies, awakening the ancient memories, and being together in sacred community.
And we've written the codes. I've been collecting codes, and that's why all the tattoos have come in. And there's more on my body. And when we are in the pyramid, we have been granted also incredible 2 hours private access under the Sphinx.
Under the secret chamber, under the Sphinx.
We have
we'll
also,
be there with our group.
and we will also be granted and have been granted, I won't even say which tomb it is because it is close to the public, but in the Valley of the Kings at our request, this tomb, which is currently closed to the public, will be open to us privately for 2 hours. That's on top of going to the Ascension Temple at Luxor after having done this. This is not a tour. This is a moment, and every one of us is carrying the energy of the sacred yoga of self-ascension. Because if you've ever read our book, 2012, Atlantean Revelations, and if you have not, go find it on the aftermarket, write somebody, get the book. And we are going to get it out there again in another form. But in this moment, we are 2 worlds that are standing up mirroring each other. And this is why on the personal, it is a moment to let go of all judgment, to say yes to you, and to notice that when the dramas and the chaos and all, like Shri and I are noticing up here this morning, and when all of the beings are saying to you, what do you want? Do you know? And can you do it outside of all judgment? Because to arise outside of all judgment is when we lay down the false armor of activism and pick up the crystalline gifts of passionate action in form. Passionate action in form. We are in an Ascension Renaissance. We are birthing. And what is the Renaissance? It's a moment of glorious celebration and remember and art and culture and oneness. And that's why you see all coming forward, because the Renaissance is happening. But the Renaissance came in because of Dark Ages. And this time, they're not sequential. This time, we're doing it at the same time because our consciousness has come forward. Along with many more mosquitoes, we're finding a new location. I'll hold it for right now. And so in this moment, we're going to go to the Ascended Numerology, yes?
Yeah.
Did you want to add?
No, well, yes, I have things I want to share.
Well, then share before we go there. That's what I'm saying.
Okey-dokey.
I was just holding it. We're going to go, we can try going back to our
Let's
table.
go back to the table.
And we're going to look at your questions too. And thank you. For being
We'll give you a little view here. Look at what a huge rock. Oh my goodness. That is a powerful
It's the aliens
focal
flow.
point of energy up here on this sacred mountain.
All right. And we're going to come back here to where we began, talk about a metaphor, because that's really where humanity is.
Well, I want to speak to that for a
Please
moment.
do. And I'm going to check for questions too. So please.
It's important to recognize that as a powerful creator being, you have the opportunity to recycle and repeat that which has gone before by collaborating with many other beings who also are inclined to recycle and repeat, or you have the ability to choose to embrace the revelatory opportunity, the emergent reality of consciousness that is more closely aligned with now. Remember that the perceptual filters of the mind are automatic. So what is now is never experienced. We experience the lens of our thoughts and our feelings. We experience, when we look out at interactions with others, we immediately categorize them. This is the most subtle and pervasive form of judgment on the planet, is that we overlay our lenses upon all experience, thus keeping a repetitive, okay, that matches a file folder in my mind.
Well, can you and I dialogue on that for a minute?
Absolutely.
Because this is where I want to go back to, and because of our little invaders over there, we didn't get to, but was really discussing the fact that when we were up in that production booth, when Sri and I were up in the production booth, or when I was up there, actually.
This is at the Rose Room.
I'm back at the Rose Room.
Yeah.
It was so amazing to witness awakeness, or to witness conscious beings consciously choosing jealousy, greed, and competition. And I have not been among anything other than, I've lived among the indigenous for 12 years, where it's just been, I mean, there's plenty of stuff that happens, but there's an energy frequency that's outside of jealousy, greed, and competition for the most part. I mean, it exists, but for the most part, it's much more we. And to witness what we witnessed, and then to find out that we were also the subject of extraordinary rumor that we knew nothing about, nor was it even close to true, nor did we even listen to all of it, but to love those that were so afraid, those that couldn't even shake our hand, those that we talked to over Zoom all the time that made sure they could not say hello and consciously walked out of the room when they saw Sri go on stage, and to love them even more, and to realize the gifts they were showing us. They were reminding us to love them. They know not what they do, that no matter what's coming out of their mouths. And similarly, since we've been back, I think a lot of you know, which is why I'm kind of gabby today, I've been in real silence. I've met with some of you. I did Monday Mastery. I've worked with our Divine Mastery Presence in the Circle of 12, but God bless you all. But to share what I can honestly say is I'm still integrating. Because when Sri and I left in 2010, these were many of the same people that we knew then. And it was first the heartbreak of something that is the exact same thing trying to fit into a new world. And it's not that anybody's doing anything wrong. It's just that the rise in snake oil is so huge that for you to have the gift of spiritual discernment makes me cry.
Yeah.
For you, like I said, the greatest compliment we were given was when this gentleman thought he was complimenting Sri and I, and what he was really doing was affirming you, your courage. That was another word he used, right? It was your courage. And it is your lack, and is your ability to gaze at fear, and to remember that fear, doubt, and hesitancy are the seeds of self-sabotage always. Right. And so I want to show you that ascended numerology, and then we want to get to some of your questions and some of your sharing.
Let me see if I can bring this up with a screen of a screen.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. It just has that other screen. Just click it.
I'm working on it.
There we are. All right, guys. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe Sue, just give us a quick yes, we can see it. But I think they can. Oh, yeah. It's got the green around it. Excuse me. So first and foremost, it's very covered up by other things. Let me see if I can see it. There we are. It is a 5-month. So we can stand and we can do a living on together. Maybe that's how we'll close today, is let's think about that, Sri, because we are living in the energy of our infinite presence. And this is why the calendar, this is why everything that's opening up, this is why that creation, self-revelation, this incredible moment, this Mercury retrograde, and I want you to look at it. So on April 4, the peak ascension up level put us at the 4, which is root chakra. Look at your body, root chakra. Then the very next day, your root chakra went directly to your star consciousness. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. Just go right from your root chakra to your star consciousness. Holy schmoly. And I mean, this is April 4, 5, 6. You see what's going on here? So you've got April 4, root chakra, April 5, woo-woo, star consciousness, and then April 6, back into the 10. Your star consciousness, which was already receiving this huge boom, right? Remember, it's an up-level boom. It's root, star consciousness. Those two come together for 24 hours, and then they go, here you go. And on the 6th, they threw it into the 10 with a double lifeline of truth. I want you to look at that. It went into your manifest energy, but the lifeline is truth, which means do not compromise truth. It came in as a double prime lifeline as the mirror of the month itself. This month is all about integrity, and I will not compromise my integrity on this, no matter what, and on any of this, because this is the moment, right? So now look at April 6th. And here we are coming up. You ready? Boom, 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 right? We're getting ready. We're getting ready. We're getting ready. This Wednesday, you're already in it. We're going back to the root. I mean, how perfect is that?
Yeah,
So
April 19th.
right. So it's been this complete, incredible circle. Root, star consciousness, right? Consciousness activation, going beyond the beyond, saying yes to that which you haven't said yes to before, staying in the joy-filled energy of this moment, taking all of that like a comet, throwing it up into your manifest energy presence of the infinite creator. And coming up right now, this week, Wednesday, it grounds. What are you grounding? That's why I'm going back to it. What do you want? What are you aware of? And that's one of the gifts, is that we are so aware. Because look what happened Saturday, guys. Before we are together again, look where the universe leaves us this month. It leaves us at the top of the clock, number 12. Star consciousness. Sri and I are both like,
Tip of the hat.
Star consciousness, right? Third eye. Remember your third eye right here, and star consciousness right about there. And if you don't know a lot about star consciousness, if you're right there at YouTube right now, before you go today, just look at Google, put it in there in our YouTube. We've got, Sri even has a beautiful video teaching it. Open your star consciousness. Third eye is extraordinary. It does everything it claims it can do. However, it is bound to the limitation of perception of this experience of form.
Yes.
When we lift into star consciousness, we ignite the unified field that then opens our cosmic prime meridians, of which we have 2, that support the ascended frequency to be stable in a body of form, thereby activating the channels that illuminate levitation, teleportation, all the fun stuff that helps us get more done, right?
Yeah.
So that's the gift. So I want you to really breathe that in.
And as you're breathing that in, bring the breath all the way down to that base chakra of the physical body, right there in your pelvis. Breathe in. Balance that chakra. There are multiple opportunities this month and always to bring your divine presence into the foundation of your being. When that energy comes up on the ascended numerology chart as a 4, it's saying pay attention to that which you are calling to earth, that which you are grounding in your pelvis. That's your point of balance and rotation and movement in this planet. And it's critical that the information that comes through from the higher chakras is accepted and welcomed at every level of your being. Your spirituality is not a part-time job. It is who you are. And as we accept, I accept my divine nature, period. No qualifications. I am a divine being enjoying my human experience. And to continue to bring that energy in, the chakra that used to hold fear, doubt, separation, where do I belong? Those are the doubting energies. Those are the energies that gather at the foundation if we are unexamined, if we simply don't pay attention. But as we pay attention to our higher level of understanding and truth, the truth that I am embraces all that I am at every level of my being. It's only the ego mind that would say it's for this and not that. It's for Sunday, not Tuesday. It's for these folks and not these folks. That's the ego's job of filtering based upon fear and separation. It's just its nature. You get to smile at it. You get to go, okay, there you are doing your thing, but you do not need to infuse it with your energy, your divine energy. The other thing I want to remind us all is that every one of us is on a spiritual path. Are you awake to it? Are you awake to your path of self-ascension?
And this is the gift of the self-revelation, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Sri, as you're sharing that, he's just queuing us right up. We have one more beautiful expansive chakra, and that Sri was really just queuing you up for it. And you always ask about union and sacred union and being together. And we really want to talk about that more, about what's unfolding with the unification molecule. And before we do, Sri, why don't you just read a few of these little comments? We're going to share little comments from you, and then we're going to dive into even more. And remember, if you want to chat with us live, get over there to YouTube, official Sri and Kara. While you're there, make sure for you.
All right, here's some commentary that we want to accent and embrace. Yoga Synthesis writes, wow, yes, I'll stop right there. Wow, this is so encouraging. Yes. Have been seeing an open vortex of white and gold lightning bolts.
Yes.
Just keep dropping.
Keep seeing, keep doing.
All right. Angela A says, all day today, I have had this feeling of anticipation and like I am waiting in line for something big and amazing, like waiting second in line to go on a roller coaster ride.
And now you're on it.
Keep breathing.
And you know what? Let's let it be the most fun ever.
And Kyla writes, interesting. It's Easter celebration in Russia today. Please send some love to that challenging country to restore harmony, balance, and peace.
Indeed. I love those. Harmony, balance, peace. Let us all find that in all ways. Thank you, Kyla, for that divine reminder. We are grateful. Indeed.
And Gary writes, we are a blowtorch of light.
Here, this is my blowtorch. I like it, babe.
A blowtorch of light that darkness ceases to exist and nowhere to hide in. We are the change. I am experiencing much love. Namaste.
We love you.
And Bhatia says,
Hi,
a lifetime of a trip I said last year yes to. She's referring to Egypt.
Yes.
The trip that she said lifetime. I feel the yes, and it is so beautiful. All the love for this trip. The universe has been up-leveling me. I am so ready.
And you know, I just want to say it again, for those of you, if you've ever known, like in your entire moment of life experience, this is a very sacred journey. And I don't think it's any accident that the universe has said that there is one person, possibly two, that need to still join us. And so dive in, breathe. If you think it's you, we need to hear from you by the 17th of April.
Self-Ascension.com.
Right away. Or jump into the chat. Sue's there. Say, hey, it's me. Let's talk. All right.
Okay. Nava writes,
hey, Nava.
The outdoors energy is beaming through you two.
It's so good to be home. You know, I often share with people, we are so blessed. You know, we have incredibly abundant water. We have fresh air, really pure air. That's why, forgive me, I've had to step away a few times today. Even though we were in that beautiful home right by the ocean and a lot of wind, I have been discharging the pollution and the electronic energy, and it's been literally pouring out of me. And yeah, thank you. We're even wearing our hats or seagrass, just so you know. So yeah, we're here with you through that gift of nature, and thank you for receiving.
And as we close the comments today, Goshko.
Hey, Goshko.
Writes, thank you so much, Sri and Kira, for being you.
Oh, sweetheart. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I just want to go back, really, exactly. And I want to go back to that comment that Sri and I received on Friday. We've been talking to just very few people, but when they said that, you know, somebody looked me in the eye and said, what do you think of those two? The response was, it's one thing to be among awake teachers, you know, really enlightened. The words were more beautiful than that. I'm not doing them justice, because what he then said was, because of that, all of you were exactly the same. And again, we just honor you to do the work, to be a divine master in form, in this experience of density, in this potentiality. Number one is an honor. It's just an honor, right?
Yeah.
To know it's an honor, to gather with others, and to sustain through the courage of your spiritual tenacity and true discernment that can only come when we're willing to look at ourselves through the self-revelation. And that is what is happening right now. And because of that, we were really called, we shared all 5 of these on Monday, and we shared the, all 5, like I mentioned, and the ensoulment that came through on Monday. I am still in the experience of bringing out to you in the written word. And for those of you that are in Monday Mastery, you will receive that. And you can get it. Just come on in, be part of Monday Mastery. Just register. You just have to let us know you're coming. You get your Zoom link. And what you're looking at here now, so I want to go back to that one I showed you earlier. Remember, it was the blue. So in 2013, quick catch up. And if you don't know what Sri and I are talking about right now, go listen to the early part of the show. So in 2013, the unification molecule, which is that blue that you see there, came into this planet as a beam of pure light inside this blue jewel ignition, which is part of the shield of Zodkill, which was mentioned during the mystical salon, which that PDF was just released as well. So there's a lot of information coming out right now. So as you gaze at this, what you see is that the horizontal eye, right? Remember, it opens first by looking at itself, that the eye itself opened. So that first arc came in, but it was gazing up at itself. It was a horizontal looking eye. Now you notice it's turned to be more of what looks like an eyeball, right? If you were to look at the blue, you would say, okay, I see that. I get it. It's more like an eyeball. Well, this is what happened. This is the energy of true unification. The ignition, when we had that March 13 moment, and then moving forward through all the energies and everything that presented through the April 4, 5, 6, this all came in post LA, but it happened in LA. What this is showing you is that the unification molecule has now ignited in this potentiality. It's been here since 2013. We have been sitting in this moment since 2013. We are now here saying, okay, we needed to take an ascension escalator. Remember, this came in 2013, but then humanity needed to step onto the ascension escalator from 2015 through 2021 and dance through the 7 polarities of free will to be with all of them right now. Remember, that whole chart has come together and is going, here you go, right? Deal with all of it. And so what that did was it opened up this eye. And because the eye saw beyond itself, it was able to see all self. And it sustains its frequency and begins spinning in the energy of love them, they know not what they do. It's in the recognition that it's never going to stop in the way that a mind of form would like to believe it's going to stop. What stops is the chaos within in the moment of living as the frequency of love them, they know not what they do. And for Sri and I just have to stop the share for a moment. That was the gift of LA. We were so blessed to have this home, and all of you that came to see us, that had the courage to come to see us, that we found out later was needed. All of you that came, it was the most beautiful family experience of my lifetime. To be with all of you, sons, daughters, mothers, fathers, cousins, aunts, uncles, to sit in a crystalline chamber of knowingness without judgment, and to model the new earth. We did that. And we did it in the sea of so much projection and judgment that literally our own event on Saturday night was hijacked by someone else due to gossip. And that's fine, because Sri and I got a really much needed rest and a private chat with a lot of you. It made for our living room chat, and it was so beautiful. So the key is to keep noticing what you're noticing, and not to lament those that perhaps have just said, I can't do this. That's their choice. God bless them for being clear. But in their clarity, are you receiving the gift of you? And are you able to model that which you are as I am? In the face of it all, what Sri and I found was absolutely, you sure did.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to take a moment and say thank you. I just want to take a moment.
Yes. You know, I think for all of us, it's important to remember that we are travelers.
Yes.
And I mean that at every level,
Mm-hmm.
from the soul traveling here to earth for this birth and experience, to the recognition that when we stand up and move out of our one domicile and take a little vacation, so to speak, take a little journey to walk in a new environment, to test or experience or to sample new ways of being, we are magnified for that. because it refreshes us, it stimulates our discernment capacity, which invites greater wisdom and love to invite greater wisdom and love to take action. We continue to up-level the experience of consciousness in form, of a loving being in form. And that is indeed our journey here, is it not? To infuse this experience with so much love.
And ever more love all the time. And, it really brings us back to Egypt, and a question that's sitting here, and I see we're going to be short on time, so we want to jump to it, because the question is this. It's from Elizabeth, and it says, please illuminate the cycle that is merging with the 2011 year of the unification molecule of 2023 that has led to returning to Egypt. Thank you for asking. And we invite all of you to be with us in Egypt. I mean, we'll be live broadcasting from everywhere we can. There's going to be lots and lots of live interaction during that time. And so the first thing that happened was, living here in Tosa Blue Mountain, we were not aware that we were even going to ever go back to Egypt. And the tattoos started showing up, and these were some of the first ones, and all of the maps started showing up. And then we were literally, I was trying to show you earlier, because I'm staring at it right now, but 2 mountain peaks over from here, it was about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, forgive me in linear time, I was up there, and clearly it was the first time I was ever up there. Shri has video of it. I wound up literally getting I almost had like 3rd-degree sunburns on me, because I was so far high up. I think I was about 14,000 feet up in our Valley of the Kings, and I kept hearing Valley of the Kings, Valley of the Kings, Valley of the Kings. In that moment, I teleported. I was in the Valley of the Kings. I could smell it. I could feel it. It was extraordinarily hot. I knew it was a time of year that I might not have enjoyed going as much, but not too horrible. And long story short, I clearly heard that Shri and I had to return to retrieve the codes to bring them here for the June solstice of 2023. And that it had to be in a very close proximity, and that there needed to be people coming with us, that these people would self-identify, that the people would shift and change. We knew that. We heard there would be somebody coming in, possibly 2 at the very last minute. And in that recognition, it is because the balance, and this, remember, we're in 2023, this was about 2021, late 2020, early 2021. We clearly heard that the balance of the planet was at a moment where the ascension codes, for those who were ready to call them forward, were being released, that the ones that were in Egypt were there, that when Shri and I had been in Egypt before, it was to set the stage for this time. The last time we were there, we were very, very cheated out because of other things. We did not get anywhere near enough a time in the Great Pyramid. We did have, however, one very profound ensoulment that to this day is still very powerful. Yeah. And so with the pyramid being built as well, the Pyramid of Peace, that was the other thing that came in at the same time, that the ascension codes were rising through the pyramids, and that Shri started getting all the downloads to what became the Pyramid of Peace. And that the day we have to be in the Great Pyramid, the day we have to be in the Sphinx, we're actually flying from Cairo to Luxor. We're not taking the boat because we have to be in the temple on a certain day at a certain time at sunset. We're going to be in feluccas going down the Nile with these codes at a certain time. So, and then we're getting in a bus, because what we haven't said is that we are culminating in Tel Amarna with incredible private access. And so we must go to the city of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. And I think many of you know that I am a carrier of a ring from that time that fits me perfectly. And I will not bring that back to Egypt and back because it's the real thing. But I will take pictures before we go. There were 3 of us that carried these sacred rings. This is a moment where those of us that are going, this is for humanity. This is huge. And this is why we're live broadcasting. So I hope that helps.
It's a time that is now.
For everyone.
And that time is expanding beyond the limits of egoic projections, beyond the limits of historical misunderstandings.
There it is.
Beyond the limits of ungrounded desires. We are walking a pathway of truth and revelation that is the essence of this abundant universe. As we breathe in to the truth that I am here. And each of you claim that. As we come into full alignment with the essence of our immortal self, everything conspires. What that means is breathes with us. Everything comes together to allow us to feel the joy of the unfolding revelation and our place in the mosaic of all that is.
Breathe that in. Really breathe that in.
I am conscious and I am grateful.
Oh, in every
Practice
way. So breathing that in, let's just take a moment. And I do want to invite all of you right now to remember in your hearts that in this extraordinary experience of this potentiality, the reason Shri and I have called forward Global Minga onto the planet is to assist more to remember the ways that are so quickly being replaced. You know, when we moved here, go to shriandkira.com, watch some of the videos on the homepage, go to our, spend more time at the YouTube channel. But when we moved here, and Shri and I are very blessed that we have lived in the Latin American culture now for 12 years, 13 years, Guatemala, Uruguay, and then here, Ecuador, and traveled extensively in many, many other regions, that in this moment to remember that I will always have enough water as long as I make sure my neighbor does too. Is that not the essence of this moment? The essence of this moment is the water in every way. And when we remember that all of the elements together call forward the harmonic balance of this experience, of this potentiality, and when we can arrive there at this beautiful, beautiful round table, each as the master I am as you are, holding the frequency of seventh dimensional non-judgment in the living frequency of love them, they know not what they do. Yes. And to be empowered enough to know that in loving them, you are also loving you. In loving them, it does not mean you have to agree with them. It does not mean you have to support them. It does not mean that you need to ever do anything with them.
No compromise.
You're not compromising you. However, here's the catch. Sincerity, love, and presence are the catch. As long as the essence of love them, they know not what they do, arises from your ascended heart in the frequency of sincerity, love, and presence, then all miracles are manifested. And each has a right to the miracle that they are calling forward. It's the harmonic balance that carries the frequency of I am here as the sea of neutrality in the constant self-inquiry of what in me invited this to be, and the knowing of that which I am. Yes. We love you so much.
Namaste, beloved ones. We look forward to being with you again really soon. Tune in to Monday Magic. Go to shriandkira.com and discover the opportunities to remain connected to awake community. We love you.